Welcome to another episode of the Headlight Restoration Pro, where I'll be showing you how to take headlights like these, which are a lot worse than what you might think, and turn them into something like these. Just not perfect. Picture perfect perfection. I'll also be explaining how they got this way and why they're still just a hair under perfection. Stay tuned. Okay, let's get down to business here.
Automatic car washes.
Let me start off by saying here that one of the biggest reasons these headlights are bad is because of the owner's practices or driving habits and practices. But you see that sweeping motion right there? That is due to automatic car washes. And you also see this area here where it's pretty much where it's affected the most is bare because it's totally removed all of that clear coat or the UV clear coat. The second issue going on with this light is you see all those pits. Okay, pitting happens from microscopic pebbles and just small pebbles bombarding your headlight while driving, primarily on the freeway, exceeding about 50 miles an hour, anywhere between 40 and 60 miles an hour and up. It's pretty much like a slow sandblast over time, and it comes from driving habits, ladies and gentlemen. It's very rare that it's just a natural occurrence. If you're driving down a dirt road or a really nasty construction site freeway, for 3-4 years on end, it could possibly happen, but more than likely, pitting is from driver habits. Okay, now take notice, I'm using the double stuff method. And I'm using that with a P500. Even though this light is heavily pitted, it is still a Mazda light. And once again, this is a Mazda 2014 CX-5. It is a medium hard light. It is somewhat soft, and you don't want to use something too abrasive with it if you can get around it. Also, because this middle part here is all barren, you don't want to go too abrasive with that as well, because you're just digging into the light further than you needed, the actual light, not the clear coat. That being said, this light is heavily pitted. That is the main problem with this light. The other problem was with car washes, and we'll get into that in a minute. But with the pitting, you have a bunch of things going on, okay? You have pretty much a bunch of pock mark or indentions or, little micro cracks of the surface. Not primarily the surface of the actual headlight on this vehicle, but the surface of the clear coat. And it's, pretty much like rock impressions, just, microscopic all the way down to ones that you could see, but of course you're not going to see them or hear them or feel them when you're driving 60, 70 miles an hour. And as I was saying earlier, it's driver habits, okay? This happens to somebody's vehicle and it's all over their hood, all over their bumper. And sometimes it's not the case because the clear coat that's on the vehicle, the actual panels, is going to be harder and a lot stronger than the clear coat on any given headlight. But once again, it's driver habits. It's always 100% guaranteed, damn near, that the driver, his habits of tailgating somebody is very high. They're driving, way too close to the vehicle in front of them. Probably has the same habits. I have to go down the same freeway every day to and from home, and I am tailgating people. I am, just a rule of thumb, you should never be closer to a vehicle just for driver habits. It's for headlight habits as well, too, or headlight health, but it's basically for common sense of driving. You should never be more than a car length behind somebody, or never be closer than a car length behind somebody. Typically, I do about 2 or 3 just for safety. And that's probably it. This guy is probably less than a car length behind somebody regularly, even on the freeway, or just too close in general. Whatever length it is too close. And the car in front of him is sandblasting the car, his car, 100% of the time. Because this is a heavily pitted headlight, especially for how good of shape this vehicle was in. And one of the things is you can only work with the vehicle that is given to you. You can only work with the headlight given to you. These lights will come out perfect, but as I said in the precursor, that there are some things that don't come out. Okay, some of the pitting, about 99% of the pitting comes out of here. When you have a larger pit from a larger boulder or sand granule or rock, those typically can come out, but the thing is, you're going to have to dig a lot deeper than recommended. You want to think of the depth that you have to remove to fix the light. You don't want to go further than what you have to, okay, to make it look good. If it's like, oh, I just want that one speck gone, it's not worth taking the whole light back down, or that spot back down 4 times more than you needed to take down on every other spot, if that makes sense. It's only recommended to remove so much each headlight restoration, because then you're messing with the dexterity and the textile strength of the headlight when you start drilling certain spots super flat. You want to be pretty much even all the way around the headlight. And I explain that to customers, like, this is not going to come out. It might come out, if you get 2 more headlight restorations in the next 6 years or something like that, or next 7 years or something like that. It might come out the next time or the time after that, but it's not worth gouging out your headlights and cutting your headlight thickness halfway or a quarter off of it in one headlight restoration. Because believe it or not, just this headlight restoration here, which was a heavy removal, is probably only like 1/25, 1 out of 25 thickness, 1/25 of the headlight. Okay, so you don't want to sit there and have to make it into a 10/25 or a, if you know math, and you don't want to, take off more. If you're saying, it's 100% of the headlight, and I'm just taking off 1% right now, that's fine. That's fine, as long as you can get most of the stuff off. You don't want to sit there and start talking about, I'm going to take it down 14%. With that being said, there's going to be some people, I'll just go deeper. That's why I'm just claiming this now. You'd be a fool to just go deeper. If you're just trying to get a car to be sold, it's just bad karma just to go deeper, period. No matter what situation you put it in, it's just foolishness. It's robbing Peter to pay Paul. You want to look into the longevity of the headlight and the health. You don't want to go too deep in one setting. It's not worth it to say, get rid of this spec or this other spec here, which is going to be way deeper. And the reason why those ones don't come out, how I said about 99% of them came out of this light, is because they are those bigger rocks, or those spots that were, just through natural selection hit harder or hit more often. And they're deeper. They're somewhat deeper. And the other reason that I want to speak to you about is crowning. Something I have called or coined crowning. If you ever get a piece of plastic, something plastic, and you bend it, whatever color it is, clear, white, black, well, you can't really tell white, black, green, whatever plastic, you bend it, you can see a white line where you're bending. Okay, now if you take that plastic, if you bang it with a hammer, you'll see a white crown, like a whiteness will come into whatever color it is besides white, because you're not going to see it. It's going to be there, but you're not going to see it in white. You'll see the whiteness, and that is just from impacting. Okay, that's from the impact pressure. It's kind of a little bit of heat and maybe a little bit of friction from the smashing of it and of the impact of it, and it leaves a white impression there. Okay, so what happens sometimes with the larger rocks that hit, that white impression is stayed there. It's from the actual plastic impacting, and 9 times out of 10 that stuff is really deep, like maybe even 2/3 of the way through the headlight. So you can't get it out. So about 90%, 99% of the stuff that you might see on this light afterwards, even though this light is going to be perfect compared to what it was, it's going to be absolutely amazing. This guy came out and was like, God damn, this is I can't even believe it. Shook my hand and everything. They're beautiful. Looks like a new car again, like when I got it. Better than when I got it, and all this shit like that, right? So they're amazing looking, but as a trained professional, I know, and I've told them, and I told him before I even started on this light, these things would be happening or whatnot. So those are crowns. I call those crowns because pretty much if you put something here like a pebble and then you crown it, what's left behind when you remove the pebble is the crown, all right? Is a crown in there. Those will not come out, okay? You'd be a fool to try to get those out. And a lot of inexperienced people will probably be kicking themselves in the ass because really to try to remove it, it's not going to happen. You could sit there and grind on that spot for like 3 hours and it's not going to come out. Okay, you'll burn the light or you'll just give up, you know, and they'll be like, well, damn, I couldn't get it out, I don't understand it, because it's a crown. You cannot remove it. And even if you could, the light would be like as thin as a piece of paper and, you know, it would just blow apart or something. You wouldn't want to do it. So you're only recommended to go so deep, and then you just need to stop, okay? You know, of course you can go deeper, but it's not needed. This headlight is going to need headlight restoration for the rest of life. This is a 2004. This car is liable to be on the, 2014. This car is liable to be on the road in another 15 years, okay? How many headlight restorations is it going to need between now and 15 years from now? Exactly. There's no need to go all crazy with it. Now, with all that being said here, this is actually kind of a difficult light because the ridges on top and also this little area here that I'm doing, it's not quite on camera, but you'll see it's kind of like a lump inside of a lump with a turn, and it's a little bit different. It's about a medium gauge of difficulty light. With all the other stuff going on, to hit the right depths and stuff like that, it makes it a little bit more than that, makes it more of a difficult light. Yeah, so anyways, that pretty much covers the topic of that for the most part. I have something else coming up for that as well. But also with the part that was missing, the part that had all of the clear coat gone, and all those sweeping striations, those lines, is pretty much dug into the plastic because of car washes, modern day automatic car washes. Now, before I get into this little excerpt I'm going to show you, you know, which is from this video here, must watch video, okay? This is probably one of the biggest videos, if out of all my videos, that you should watch if you're trying to do headlight restoration, if you're trying to understand why they go bad, okay? This is one of the most informative and education videos, so please watch this if you're serious about this. So back to the automatic car washes. Okay, the thing with these things are, if you ask them, they have to almost tell you, and they've come up with a way to tell you that it's safe for your car and safe for everything with your car because we use scratchless foam pads, okay, right? And it's kind of a lie, okay? It is a lie. It's a bold-faced lie. It's a lie inside of the truth. Kind of like telling you, like saying your car will run off cooking oil for a good amount of time. Yeah, it will run off cooking oil for a little bit until it explodes. It's not the same shit. But anyways, let me tell you what I'm talking about. Basically, they have these foam pads or whatever. One of the things is these foam pads beat the shit out of your car, okay? Primarily and especially on the front corners, the left and the right. Impact your vehicle a little too hard. The second thing is that, like I said, the cooking oil scenario, they say these are foam pads that are unscratching foam pads that don't scratch your vehicle. They're right. They are scratchless foam pads. They don't scratch your vehicle. But the thing is, when you have car number 379,000 for the week that is dirty as shit, that is mud bogging, that is just a filthy person who doesn't wash their car, or just, you know, it just rained or something and there's all kind of sap and stuff in the car, whatever. These, foam pads or these foam little, grommets and whatever that are in there, they're chock full of dirt, dust, and debris. Okay, primarily, particles of things that it picks up and they stay on there. So when they wash your car, these particles are beating the shit out of your car with these granulates and particles. Primarily, once again, the hardest impact point of these car washes is on the right and the left front part of your vehicle, which affects your headlights pretty much the most. But anyways, check this out before we go any further. Why do headlights go bad? Number one, ultraviolet light.
Number 2, direct impact. Number 3, design defects. Number 3.5, improper sealant method. Number 4, bugs. Number 5, poor vehicle hygiene. Number 5.5, benefits of washing vehicle. Number 6, drive-through car washes. Number 7, the importance of aftercare. Although there's more, these are the major issues of why your headlights go bad. The sun produces UV lights which bombard your headlights all day. Good condition lights, whether new or restored, have a protective coating which act kind of like sunglasses. This coating provides protection which ricochets, reflects, blocks, and bounces off the UV light. Direct impact. This happens when you exceed 40 miles an hour on a freeway or highway. Microscopic particles and granulates directly impact your headlight at high speeds, acting like a slow sandblast over time. Number 1 and number 2 lay the way for oxidation. UV damage is none other than radiation damage. The surface of the light begins to overheat. This, in combination with direct impact, starts to degrade the headlight surface. It becomes inefficient, in some cases non-existent. UV light is radiation. Radiation is heat, which causes burning, melting, cooking, and a bunch of other kind of damages to your headlights. There are 3 different major types of solar UV lights. Some of these UV lights are more harmful than others. The majority of them are blocked by the ozone layer. What's left over is here to burn our headlights and other things. Drive-through car washes. When you're driving through non-touchless car washes, they have foam rotators that rotate and clean the sides, fronts, and back and top of your vehicle. Not all these parts are equal. The front of your vehicle gets bombarded a little bit heavier than all the rest of the areas. Primarily the front sides, where 99% of vehicles' headlights are located. Even if the car wash is using scratchless foam pads, that is all dependent on how well they keep up their pads and who's washed your car before yours, which is usually dozens if not hundreds. Those pads get soaked with granulates and particles from the other vehicles and wash their vehicles before yours, scraping into your headlight coating and headlight, and even more. Slowly over time, eventually diminishing your headlight coating until they start to look something like this. See those striations there and the absence of any kind of clear coat, and it's actually digging into the actual material of the headlight, the plastic. This is from years of drive-through car washing, and without that UV protectant there, the sun will just eat that plastic up. Which brings me to my final but
Okay, once again, that video is up and streaming now, and it's one of my most recommended videos to anybody trying to learn this or even just know about what's going on with their vehicle and why this happens and why it will always happen. And keep that in mind, people, there is no such thing as a permanent fix. If you hear somebody say that, they have no idea of the definition of permanent, or they have no idea that headlights are not a permanent situation. There's nothing you can do, and there's nothing you can put on these cars or these headlights to make it a permanent situation. Nothing. So they're either undereducated, they're lying to you, or they don't know the definition of the word itself. Permanent means forever. Semi-permanent means for a very long time, not specified. But it's just little word games that people will play you with. Typically, you got about anywhere between, with any given proper headlight restoration, not even on my level, just what as textbook considered a proper headlight restoration, you got anywhere from like 13 months or so to 5 years, depending on how you take care of your headlights. Okay, there's no headlight restoration lasting 10, 12, 15 years, not even with PPF. Okay, not even with the protection film. Okay, never heard of it, never seen it. And I've seen all that stuff, and typically the things that last longer, this shit's gonna last 6 years. Who would want something to last 6 years when your lights are fucked up off afterwards? They're just terrible. They're cracked, they're ugly, they're unfixable, they're permanent damage, and you probably got another year after that before you have to replace them, when you could have just had better headlight restoration, if you know what I'm saying, instead of it's gonna last a long time. You don't want to sacrifice headlight health for a headlight length of headlight restoration. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, and a lot of people swear by it. They'll put anything on your headlights to make it last another freaking 6 months, another year. Okay, I'd rather my headlights go bad a year, a year shy of 5 years, than go 5 years and when somebody comes to do it, they're like, oh man, we can't do it, or oh, look at all this cracking from whatever somebody put on your headlights. Oh, look at all this burning. Look at all this, all these weird effects that happen from stuff that people put on their headlights that's not supposed to be there. That's why, rule of thumb, you've got to use things that say for headlights, okay, in any situation. Well, look how beautiful this light looks already. Now, once again, even though it's looking perfect, I'm going to show you a couple things at the end. It'll be perfect. It's the proximity of perfection. It's pretty much 100%. In my opinion, it's about 99%. Perfect. It might even be more perfect than that. It just pisses me off sometimes that, no matter what you do, some lights will not get the way you want no matter what. Like I said, you can only work with what's given to you, and it would make zero sense to grind this light down to half mass or 3/4 mass, and have it be paper thin and all that stuff to get certain things out that I wanted out. But with that being said, it was so amazing transformation. It's insane. They're so perfect. It's insane. I just want above perfection. That's just me. That's what I shoot for. And that's what you can achieve if you use this method. I've showed you guys how many times, and these are just random lights. I pick a light or two a week, that I've done, in the past, or that I've done this week or whatever that I recorded. A light or two a week. That's it. Like, no, like, every single light, no random pick like, I want to do this one, I'm going to do this one, I'm not going to do that one because it's messed up. All of my product comes out this way. This is why I have over 90 plus 5-star reviews. Only 5-star reviews, nothing else. And most of these are written. I've had women come out and see their headlights when I'm done and they start crying. Last year, I had 2. The year before that, I had 1, and I was so new in it, it almost made me cry. I didn't know that could happen. I'm a big old softie, don't get me wrong. But, and the women have cried because, just think about it, this vehicle here, and then the dealership saying, we can't do nothing, and then, other, wannabe headlight restorers saying, oh, no, we can't do nothing, we won't work on this vehicle. Just this vehicle alone, its headlights are probably $500 a piece, okay? These have all kind of stuff going on inside. They're probably $500 a piece, plus installation at the factory where they're going to have to pull off the fender, and they're going to have to take the tires off, drop the fender wells, do all kind of weird stuff, and it's going to take them 3-4 hours to put them in. And they're going to charge you for about 3 hours of service, so it's going to be about $1,400. So when, somebody like me comes out for, a fraction of that, and then makes the headlights look better than, they did ever on the vehicle, the person gets overwhelmed. This guy was overwhelmed. He was giving me dap and shaking my hand, and it's just crazy. I've had customers hug me, and just craziness. I've had customers get on the phone right then. Just the other day I had a customer get on the phone, and once he saw it done, he was skeptical, but once he saw it done, like, I can't believe it. I don't even know how to explain how you got that stuff, off to look like this. He got on the phone immediately and started calling his family, and then 2 of his family members pulled up to get headlight restoration just off how amazing they were. And the thing is, I'm using a method. I'm using a method that I devised, okay? I'm using a method that I have educated myself in. I'm using a method that I have took pieces from other methods that make sense, and pieces of my education in headlights, and I've educated myself 1,000 hours to devise this method in what headlights need, okay? And that's what this is from, and I'm showing you guys, and you can pretty much just use this method. A lot of people, I had to tell a guy the other day, like, just because you watch a video of Mike Tyson fighting, or a seminar of Mike Tyson throwing a punch, doesn't mean you're going to be Mike Tyson. What it means is you'll be able to throw a punch very good. The dynamics and the economics, the everything about throwing a punch, right? but you don't have the natural talent to be Mike Tyson. You don't have 50 fights. You don't have 40 something KOs. You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna be Mike Tyson, not even overnight. I have some guys on here that are like, hey, oh my god, still this is happening, and I can't get this off. And it's like, dude, you've done headlights for like 1 month. You've probably done what I do with headlights, and, in 1 week, in 1 month. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not on that level. Like, it takes time. You're getting a heads up from watching me, but it's just not gonna happen overnight. But anyways, you see just a very minor. There's a little spot there, a little spot there. These are the really hard ones. Those crowns that I'm talking about that won't come out, and these are those divots that are so deep they won't come out. You'd have to get like half of this headlight off, before it comes out, and that would just be ridiculous. But other than that, I mean, most people would say it's 110%, but just in my book, it's like 99. Stay tuned.
The Headlight Restoration.